How's it seem over the pitch with training in the week? With the cop gone, does it seem different? Or
it's not too bad.
Yeah. It's quite weird. Yeah, he's been coming quite a lot over the years. Just suddenly seeing that.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know. It might be different in the game, but also games are generally in the dark anyway, aren't they now?
Yeah,
so,
I suppose so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wonder if the acoustic might be a bit different. I suppose.
Yeah, maybe.
That, I suppose.
Yeah. We'll see. I suppose. Yeah.
Cheers, Ben. So, obviously, huge game Sunday. Massive test for Wrexham. What sort of game are you expecting, and what sort of challenge do you think Sheffield United are going to pose?
I'd say a proper game's expected. You know, they're a proper team who are full of real experience, know how they've been there. So it'll be a game. I'd call it like a proper game. You know, not going to be like one team tippy tappy, the other not. You know, kind of thing. I think it'll be like two team of men going at it, really.
Yeah. I asked Phil the same question while asking you as well. What sort of an impact do you think the crowd, the Wrexham fans, can have as a 12th man?
Yeah, huge. I think even you saw it when we played Coventry away. We almost had the 12th man, and it was 4,500. So I think the stadium will be bouncing on Sunday. It's generally brilliant when we're here anyway, and they are like our 12th man. So yeah, I'd say they'll have a massive say in what we do.
Yeah, and obviously you've become sort of renowned for your long throws. You always imagine that sort of an FA Cup tie, so you know you're going to score a goal, scramble from a long throw. Do you think it's going to be a big weapon?
Yeah, I think it's always a weapon. It's always something that teams are fearful of. You know, last time I was in a big FA Cup game, it was we scored from it and nearly won the game from it. So it's one of them things where you've got to utilise it, and hopefully, you know, I hope I'm playing and also get to use it.
Yeah, that's fab. Cheers, Ben.
Cheers.
Was that a particular game? Sorry, was that a game with Cheltenham, or was that you mean?
That was Cheltenham. Yeah.
What was that?
The Man City game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So it put us 1-0 up to like the 82nd minute. So
yeah.
And that was talked about a lot. The throw was talked about a lot, and then we score from it, and it's kind of it could have won us the game.
Memories of that game, particularly just that moment, presumably. I mean, just it must have been amazing.
Yeah, in terms of the FA Cup and it meaning something, actually going and doing something from it, we scored directly from it. So you know, it's one of them things that puts fear into the opposition automatically. Anyway, by the way, I think they've got a long throw, so it could be a bit of a throw off.
And has this developed over years? I mean, obviously there's always a lap at Stoke, we remember, and. How did it start?
I'd actually say it was longer when I was a bit younger, but it's still, you know, I'm still pretty happy with it. But it's something from when I was younger. I suppose it's just technique and timing, really. Just from practicing throwing a ball with my older brother and just being competitive, trying to throw it further than him, and I think it just kind of came from that, really.
So when you started your professional career, you were doing it.
No, I never used it. No.
Right.
So professionally started at 17, and then I probably didn't start using it till mid-20s, or no, mid-20 years old, so nearly 21. So good for 3.5 years.
Right.
Yeah. And then just one day, we were losing a game, ball went out for a throw-in, I grabbed it, threw it almost went out the other end. And then, from then it was just kind of, right, let's use it. But then I've had a few seasons where some managers don't want to use it. So.
Do you remember the game? Or
no, it was when I was at Northampton. I couldn't tell you the game.
Cool.
It's unusual, really.
When you step up to put one in, can you actually identify a player who said, do you want to put it on, or is it a case of putting it in an area when you?
I could honestly tell you probably within about 2 yards. I know where I could throw it. It's also trying to be telepathic to tell them where I want them to be to throw it to. So it's kind of, sometimes you'll have signals and things like that. But I know where I can throw it to. They obviously know where they can get a bit of space, but everyone defends them differently. So it's trying to kind of, sometimes you just want to throw it on the keeper and cause a bit of mayhem. Mm-hmm. So it's just mixing it up, really.
So obviously I've heard of teams practicing their corners, but you
magic of the goal.
He's shocked,
So you practice do you sort of stay behind after and practice your long throws?
No, I try not to throw it really during the week, just to kind of rest, and because every throw-in's pretty much full whack, and it's it's explosive and
Is that risking injury a bit?
yeah. So it's kind of like when we do throw-ins set piece on a Friday, I'll stand maybe 5 or 10 yards in from the touchline and just take an average throw-in, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Just to kind of save myself. Yeah. 'Cause sometimes I could be throwing it 20 times in a game, and you just think, it does take its toll. It also, believe it or not, tires you out.
You don't get given a special strength and conditioning program for that, do you?
I do my own exercises in the gym, my own shoulder ones, but that's more injury prevention. So,
And with the stand being down, does that open up to any more elements than previously? That when with the winds whipping in and whirling around, that all adds to it, does it?
Yeah, I don't know, because we were walking for breakfast the other day, and one of the lads said, the wind will be coming in from that side. And as he was saying it, the wind was coming in from this stand, this goal. And I was like, well, it ain't going to make a difference because that big stand's not stopping the wind. So I don't think that's going to do.
Yeah, it sort of stands in a way, because the hills are over that way. I sort of think it's probably going to come from the the Wrexham stand then, isn't it? Whatever it's called. Yeah.
I suppose if it's going to be windy, it's going to be windy, isn't it? Whether there's a stand there or not. But yeah.
Well, when you think of some of the famous FA Cup goals, who's to say?
Yeah.
Might have a,
Hopefully, yeah.
Might have a little part to play in.
Yeah. Be nice. Yeah.
I was just going to ask one, just more sort of generally, in terms of the amazing form the team's been in this year, and obviously the Coventry game being included in that, just how big is the sense of confidence, belief that you can beat Sheffield United on Sunday? I know that there are all these leagues above, but
yeah. I think when the draw was made, it was in my head it was seen as a winnable tie, and especially being at home, it's kind of the pitch and the atmosphere kind of levels out the odds and the chances of winning the game. I know that they're going really well themselves. Like I said before, they've got experience in the team, know-how, so that kind of goes in their favour in a way. But I think genuinely we've got a real belief that we can cause an upset. FA Cup throws up, mad things and mad games, and it just takes, like you said before, about a throw in, a red card, a bizarre goal. So it's just going with it really. The FA Cup's got that romance, and just kind of go with it and see where it takes us. Cheers. We're all right. Yeah.
Anyone else got any questions for Ben or?